Welcome everybody to today's session on behalf of Indian section. I welcome you all. I hope people aren't confused between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. And if they're going on 8 p.m. and wondering why Pradeep ji is not starting at 8 p.m., they're going to miss the session, but let's hope more people will join. So before we begin, let's join together in the universal invocation and take a 10-second break after that. So you can repeat after me. O hidden life, vibrant in every atom. O hidden light, shining in every creature. O hidden love, embracing all in oneness. May all who feels himself as one with thee know he is also one with every other. So 10 seconds break. So come back, everybody. Suvralina does not need to be introduced, but I would like to introduce her because she has had a 20-year-old stint with TS. She joined exactly 20 years ago in 2003. And since then, I find when I asked her for the biodata, she has given me only her theosophical biodata. So I'm sure there's a lot more to her. What really impresses me is that she started her own lodge for youngsters and children called Prayas Lodge in 2017. She's also held numerous camps, workshops, and done lots of lectures. And also, she does one of the most beautiful things that TS is part of, which is the Theosophical Order of Service. She is the secretary there, and she has been regularly working for the underprivileged children. So I would say that she's an inspiration for all of us because this is practical theosophy playing out right here in front of us. And the most impressive thing is always when your family follows you. So I noticed that her daughter follows her. We don't see her husband. So the day her husband follows her, we know that there's more success in the personal life. So that's it, and take it away. I think today's topic is extremely interesting. We hear a lot about soul contracts. We hear about targets that the soul has before it comes, the prarabdha karma. And if we look at it from the point of view that every challenge is a test, it would be wonderful. But we forget that. We forget all of these things, and we become very common. We think like common people. So it's a good reminder. The title is fascinating. And thank you so much, Suvralina, for taking this topic. And please start.
Thank you, Vimalji. Thank you, Brother Pradeep, for choosing me as the speaker of this particular topic. This life is a test. This is a very interesting topic for me. I strongly believe and follow the law of karma, the cause and effect, and I actually strongly believe in this. And whatever bit of work I do, I think every effect has a cause and every cause has an effect. So let me start with this day-to-day observations, basically. If we all become a little observant, study people's approach towards life, the way they respond to situations, we all will get to learn that there are different traits, approaches, mindsets. And if I've done a little bit of research on human tendencies, for sure I've learned that there are definitely, these are not the outcome of few days, weeks, or months, or years. It's all about what goes into someone's head for a longer period of time, and of course, at an early age. So today, when we talk about education, we talk about things to be, things to do. We learn a lot of things at an early age through perception and observation, the whole system and surrounding through which a child is nurtured, a human being is nurtured, and the belief system one creates. Interestingly, when we learn, it doesn't end only through learning. There are situations when we unlearn things and we get a fresh school of thought. Why am I talking about learning and unlearning here? Because every time we learn something, we are put into a test. We all will realize whatever we have learned, we pick up being truthful, there'll be a serious test on our truthfulness. We pick up a habit of not being lazy. Someday there'll be a severe test for us to lie down, to be lazy, and then we have to push ourselves up. It happens with every human being. Whatever we pick up and we want to do, there has to be a test. Somebody somewhere will test us. So at each step of life, there is always a new and fresh learning. Even the learning of the past brings a new meaning as we grow. The platform is huge. Learning through observation from our surroundings, life experiences. We all need to be aware, alert, and receptive. And when we learn, we acquire knowledge, as I said, then we are put into tests, examinations, and we qualify. Like our general study and degrees we pick up from any school or college. There is a study happening, then we are put into tests, and then somebody qualifies. Okay, now you're qualified. So it's not just getting information, it's getting a thorough understanding. Otherwise, it's going to be very, very superficial. So once we assume that we have acquired a level of knowledge that needs to be put into practice, we call it an experiment. This is done because to examine whether the learning is accurate or not. So it is not about the day-to-day exams in the education system we do. This is also about life, when we are put into life tests. Whether we are able to apply our knowledge. If the knowledge is well translated to right perception, right behavior, right decision, then only we pass the test. And it is not for just 1 or 2 life tests. It is for the lifetime, a series of tests. And we all know there is life after life, life after life. That is why every life is a test. That is why this subject, this life, is nothing but a test. And then we graduate into levels. We grow up at each stage of life when we gain certain qualification. That helps us to grow on the path. That is why each life test is an indicator of being qualified. It's good that we face this test throughout our life, and thus the qualifications, they get sharpened each time. And there will be always a guide, a mantra of life we will have, a person who will be guiding us. Then we say that when the student is ready, the teacher appears. When we are ready to accept, when we are ready for the test, when we are ready to see things as is, when we are ready to be humble, to go with the flow, life will give us a teacher at every mode of it. And when we gain that knowledge, it will give us power. We all know that knowledge is an extension of the word know. So if there is this depth knowing of something, not superficial, then we are empowered to pass the test. We all are blessed with this light of knowledge. In the absence of light, everything around is dark. We all know it. But life begins for the person who sees the light in true sense. At whatever age this great event occurs, when it strikes us, okay, this is me, this is what I'm supposed to do, and that is why I'm being tested. Then from then only we'll realize that we have started actually living the life fully. We must remember that the situations that we are put into, the things that seem meaningless to us, has a deeper meaning. That is beyond our knowledge. All that occurs to us is not by chance, but has been very meticulously designed. We have created our current situations by our past deeds, not just in this life, but in our past lives, so many lives. Everything that we have caused has its effect, and for everything that we want to happen, we have to cause it. Many a times I use this phrase with the kids. You want this, you have to go and cause it. If I don't cause it, how am I going to get it? Anything you want in your life. You want peace, you have to cause the peace. You want happiness, cause happiness. We cannot just expect things to come to us. We have to cause it, create it, right? Causing it means creating it. So while talking about cause and effect or law of karma as we refer, we had gone through a session sometime in Adyar, and from where I noted the 5 laws of cause and effect, I would like to reiterate here. The first is Vija Niyama, law of seed. Our biological inheritance, like looks, diseases, like a mango seed will give a mango tree only. This is all law of seed, Vija Niyama. Then there is Utta Niyama, law of climate. The very environment we are in, not only the physical climate, but also the type of climate in terms of social, peer group, which are conducive to our upbringing. Then the third one is Kama Niyama, laws of actions. Our own actions in the past, previous lives, our intention determines what kind of karma we create. Effect of many karmas can create a cause for some other effect. The fourth one is Chitta Niyama, law of mind. Consciousness to take decisions of what is good, what is bad. Every time we do something, we should reflect on the effect that we bring. Then Dhamma Niyama, law of nature. The influence of stars, sun, moon, earthquake, tsunami, these events are all influences of nature. We cannot change the influences of these laws, but we can change our attitude towards it, our reaction towards it. We can change the chain of these events. Many people can endure, but they do so sadly. We must take all our trials and troubles gladly. Our tendency is to compare ourselves with those who are more fortunate than we are. It is well sometimes to do so with those who are less fortunate, that we may feel gratitude for all the good that we have received. So every time I'm put into a test, I must remember, I must start recalling how the other people who are less fortunate, they're managing to do it. No one who really understands and believes in the law of karma can fail to be cheerful. Karma is a law like law of gravitation, any other law, and it is always working, continuously working. Series of things are happening because we all have come up through savage states when we did all sorts of uncontrolled things. There is likely to be a certain amount of evil karma waiting for all of us, unless we have spent many lives working it out. When suffering comes upon us, we should assume that we are working out the karma. We all had stored up. No, those need to be worked out. The tendency of almost everyone who suffers is to say how hard it is and to think of other times when things were better. We may take it the other way and say things might have been much worse than this. Maybe I'm in a good position, I'm in a good situation. Things could have been worse. The way we say, no, things could have been better, things could have been worse too. In fact, in this period of trial, we get to learn how we have great qualities like patience, courage, truthfulness, etc. in us. Most of the time, when we are undergoing a trial, a test, we want that period to be over sooner, quicker. But probably we tend to forget the things like, how am I going to respond? How am I going to behave in this particular fashion in this kind of a situation when next time I'm put into such a test, I will be handling it better. If that thing we keep in our back of the mind, we would face the situation with more courage, with more truthfulness. This time of the test is actually a time of self-realization, because we start understanding our true sense. Oh, is that me? I showed a lot of patience here. I didn't know that I was so courageous. This is the time, the test at the time, which tells us how are we going to do things in future. What we have done, we will do. What we are doing, we will be doing again. It's as simple as that. This time of test is actually, that is why, a time of self-realization. Good dates and bad dates both make us come back. We know it. That is why we have to analyze it, every situation. My response will decide whether it's a good deed or bad deed. Situation is not good or bad. My response will make it good or bad. We have to keep patience until our evil karma is dissolved. The inner truth will reveal after that. Till then, we need to look deep within. If we think, when we are in not a so-called happy situation or a situation which we want in our life, and we decide, no, I'm going to quit everything, I'm going to take sannyas. Many people say, I don't want to be in this life, I want to take a sannyas, I want to go away. Going away is not the solution. That's running away, actually. The man who takes a sannyasi's robes, grows beard, goes to the temple or, to an isolated place and runs away from this life, maybe he's not a true religious man. The true religious man is who dies every day and is reborn every day. Dies of what? Dies to the things that he holds secretly in his heart. Dies to the pleasure, dies to the sorrow. So when somebody dies naturally every day, so that he has a fresh mind the next morning, he will get ready for next life too, because every day is a new life. So this is a kind of preparatory ground, a laboratory. So this life is a testament, this life is also laboratory. A perfect one is ever satisfied in the self, the higher self. He lives in perfect equanimity. In pleasure, in pain, he has a special knack for withdrawing his senses from all the disturbing fields of objects. Just as, if I go for this example of a tortoise, at the most distant suggestions of danger, the tortoise will instinctively withdraw all the limbs into itself and feel safe within. A man of perfection can consciously withdraw his sense organs because we all are safe within. If we are not safe without, we are at least safe within. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna reassures Arjuna that a man of steady wisdom is he who has the ready capacity to fold back his senses from any or all the fields of activities. The capacity within an individual to withdraw his senses at will, withdraw not by someone else's force, but by our own will from the fields of objects. This is called yoga also. In Yoga Shastra, this is pratyahar, which the yogi accomplishes through control of breath, pranayama. So every time there's a test, we are feeling uneasy, let us work on our breath, our sense organs, the fields of objects. How are we getting within for peace, happiness, the eternal joy? Now I would touch upon one very important aspect, life after death, our next life, the new life. We all understand the evolution process. We know that we were something else. We grew up to be a version 0 to version 1, then version 2, then version 3. Versions gets changed. We evolve in every life for a better, purer, and more developed version, right? After death, we lie for a long period of time, assimilating the lessons of life. We all understand here. I'm just repeating what we all know. So that, we absorb, we keep saying to ourselves, let us change our self-talk. And enjoying a long rest from the battles of life, we come back after a long time, not only refreshed and stronger, but grown in character and capacity from this assimilation of experiences. So every life, there is a test. We acquire a qualification. Let us start with this way. We get some knowledge. For that knowledge, we are being tested so that we qualify it and grow in character and capacity. Go to the next version. With this knowledge, another test, again qualified, more qualities and capacities, building in more characters, new phases of things, again tested. So test will not end. We cannot just say we will acquire things and will not be tested. The more knowledge we have, the more experience we have, the more tests will come in our life. Just as a man studies and practices an art day after day, year after year, the power of capacity grows steadily. So life after life, men add to their power and one day are born as heroes, saints, genius, because we all are our own ancestors. I am my own ancestor. For this life, I was my ancestor in my past life. This is a pure, perfect law which cannot be challenged, cannot be modified, cannot be changed by any means. If a rose flower fades out, its petals crumble. The life of that rose doesn't cease to be. That life persists in nature and animates another rose of another spring, bringing to its second embodiment the memories of its first. Evolution is an endless process. Through successive series of forms, we have come all the way from mineral to plant, plant to animal, animal to human. The attainment of superhuman life is an absolute certainty. If we act selfishly, if we set ourselves against the current of evolution, we might delay the process, delay the progress also, but we cannot finally prevent it. We are ought to go to a stage of superhuman. It's a profound blunder to imagine that in any other circumstances we could do better than we are doing now. No, the situations are perfectly here for us. We are surrounded by exactly the same things that are required for our evolution. Whatever is happening with us, it has to be there. It has to occur to us. That is why through this process of evolution, we will gain something, gain to be a better version of ourselves. Reincarnation makes us realize that the circumstances around us are exactly those that are best for our growth and evolution. According to secular doctrine, every individual sounds his note as part of the keynote of the whole world. So we all have our bit of role, responsibility, fun, suffering, working out of karmas, whatever we call it. We have our own quota of things to do. Now, for this keynote of the whole world, we are one note, single note, and this single note, when is in harmony with the universal plan, then we will create a great music. Whole being will evolve in the direction of the goal to be attained. So when we continue this journey as a learner till the end, what is that end? The temple of divine wisdom. We always pray for that, right? So we have to understand the inner meaning of it, the gist of it. Now the question is, are we ready? Ready for what? We are talking about evolution. We are talking about working out our karmas. Where are we heading? People are saying, some people are referring to old scriptures or maybe some other manuscripts. People are saying the whole world is going to collapse and whole thing is going to be destructed. The very new thing will come up. There is always a creation after destruction, and which is good. But now, when a new earth, a new world, a new universe, a new solar system, or whatever we name it, the new sphere, if that is going to be refreshed, are we ready to breathe in that sphere? Are we making ourselves to reach out to that level if the whole world is renewed? When things are renewed, everything is renewed, right? Are we ready for that renewal also? This is a very serious question. It's not fun. If the whole universe is going to change and a new set of species will be invited in that particular space and everything will be destructed, are we making ourselves to be of any help in that sphere? Are we ready for that? Let us question that. It's a serious question and it needs to be asked. I will conclude with a blog I recently read. It goes like this. When you want a flower to grow in your garden, you go to the nursery and buy a packet of seeds. You don't go and, if you want to grow a plant, you will not just go for, ready-made plant and just install it. Probably it will not grow in your garden. We always buy a packet of seeds, right? You can see exactly what you are going to end up because there is a beautiful color picture of the fully grown flower on the front of the packet. It's a packet of seeds, but it contains on it a beautiful flower. But when we open the packet, what do we find? Tiny black lumps that look like mouse droppings. Does that discourage you? No, because you know what these seeds, which are so ugly, so dark, but they are meant to become. They are meant to become beautiful flowers, colorful flowers. So you set up the environment for the seeds to grow. You prepare the soil, you plant the seeds, and then you make sure that you give them the right amount of sunlight, water, sometimes some manure. When a tiny seedling finally sprouts, it's delicate. You protect it, care for it until it grows into the flower it is meant to be. So those odd black mouse droppings look-alike seeds are nothing but beautiful flowers which were hidden in those seeds. Somewhere inside you, there is a seed packet with your picture on it, a picture of the fully realized you. It's not easy to grow this flower. The flower, like the flower Suvralina, the seed Suvralina may be dark, ugly, but the flower Suvralina is going to be very bright, fully realized. So the realized self on that picture of the packet of seeds is a motivation to open up the packet, how ugly they might be, to nurture them to that beautiful flower. There are challenges, of course, all along the way. But when you face them, you learn from them and you grow with them. Through this process, all these challenges, tests, whatever we call it, through this, we all grow into that flower in full bloom. Flowers cannot become fully realized unless they push themselves way up through the soil and compete for sun and space with other plants. Our conditions are not much different. We have to find out way in the world. And all along we face tests of physical illness, mental troubles, financial reversals, unfulfilled expectations and loss, many things. Though we cannot choose most of the tests we face in life, we can choose how we are going to face them. Are we going to have a miserable experience, crumble under the pressure, run away or avoid challenges altogether? Or are we going to find the strength and inner resources to rise to the challenges and fully actualize our potential? Facing the tests in the right way will give us this opportunity. So when you face the tests of life, learn from them, grow with them, you become that person. The tests of life require you to call on the inner resources residing deep inside you. Like the power of the full bloom flower resides in the seed deep within. Tests are like a challenging teacher or friend if you maintain a good relationship with them. Many of your best qualities will emerge. If we embrace tests, if we accept challenges, if we face the tests, we are going to be our better versions. This is a blog about meeting life's tests and facing them so that you can grow to be and become your best. What is our best? Highest self. Today morning, when I went to the ES meeting, I met Brother Kailash. In some context, we're talking about certain things. He gave me a good quote. He asked me even, what is that challenge in everything we do? Can you say this? I said, no, probably I couldn't figure out what to answer. He said, the challenge in everything we do is it could be done better. And that is about tests of life. Every time we are tested, we must know that I could do better. What is that for which I should work so that I could do better? If life is putting me into a test, what could I do better so that next time, similar tests of life, I would be pure, perfect, I would be less reactive and more responsive. I would be embracing what I have already done. These are my karmas which have come back to me. Then why am I so afraid of or fearful of the test of life? This is like any other test. And I am being tested because I have acquired that knowledge. And when tests come to us, let us think that, oh, I'm being tested because I know it, that's why I'm being tested. If I had not known it, I would not have been tested. Test means I know something. So it's better to appear the test. I cannot avoid it. That is why this life is a test for my next life. So let us go through it peacefully, happily, with joy in our heart, because deep within, there is this power, there is this potential which is going to help me stand out in all odds, in all tests of life. So that is why this life is a test, but we must write it happily. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Suvralina. That was just a wonderful talk. There was so many nice things. I'd like to point one thing which I very enjoyed from this is when you say that are we ready for the next stage of evolution? I think I was just thinking, what if I lived in a planet which had only Mahatmas, these extremely extraordinary human beings, and what would I feel in that? What would be going on inside me? I think like I don't know, there'd be so much of mess that I have to clean up and clear. So, yeah, that's a wonderful thing. Now we open up for comments or questions or anything that you all want to share. The title is Life is a Test. So, I'm sure you all will have experiences where you felt the truth of this statement. Please. You can unmute and start. There's no need to raise hand. Sushma ji, Sheetal ji.
Hello. Hello. Namaste. Suvralina, uh, really nice talk in a sense. In a daily life, we can think like this. What you have suggested, and I like the most that you said just now that if we think this is a test, then we will do it more vigorously, we more try to do it neatly, nicely, and if we take it as a test, then we will enjoy it. So I like this very much. Yes, we have to face the things happily, and really think it that when we have come across this thing, that means we are washed by our higher ones. So we have to do it, and if we do it in a happy way, it will be really a nicer thing for us to appear before them also, to appear in the life also. So I like it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sheetal ji.
Actually, I joined a little later, so I'll go through it again. But whatever I heard, I liked it.
Anybody else? Like basically, I feel yes, tests appear to come to improve us, but then some in our tech, whatever we study, we realize that these tests have been designed by us. Especially the big tests have been designed by us for us to develop ourselves. So, and sometimes we feel that the because we come with a brain which does not have the capacity most of the time to deal with those tests. So then we have to develop our brains, our lines and channels of thinking, and improve ourselves. So like for me, one of the things that I have is that I was betrayed when I was very young by a close friend when I was just 5 years old. And since then, when I have been betrayed a couple of times, people have stolen things from me and all that. So I have a lot of problem in trusting. So I was like asking that how does one learn to trust? Because if you trust, you send a goodwill message. If you take a person you don't know and you're having a dealing, many very often, like I sell something, for example, I make things which I sell, and I have to trust in them. They'll say my Google Pay is not working. I have to trust. So there's this doubt whether they will pay, whether they'll not pay. And it's a very terrible thing when you have this doubt of whether they will pay you the correct amount. Sometimes they will bargain and want less. So for me, like, this has become the new test for me, that uh, whatever happens, money is not important. Giving less importance to money, more importance to, will the other person do the right thing? Now, if the other person doesn't do the right thing, can I not hate him or her? That is the test. So these type of small challenges come our way. And Sudeep ji, you have put on your video. Would you like to share something?
No, thanks, because talk is so clear. There is no room for any other ideas to include in this talk. Thank you.
So, Lina, would you like to add something?
हेलो
Ashok ji, yes.
हेलो आज का टॉपिक जो सवरलीना जी जब भी टॉक देती है तो प्रैक्टिकल आज के संदर्भ में हमारे जीवन में थियोसॉफी के अभ्यास का क्या उपयोग होगा, इसलिए मुझे सवरलीना जी के जो टॉक है वो आज के परिवेश में, आज की जनरेशन, आज की भाषा में, आज के संदर्भ में जो कुछ हम थियोसॉफी को एडॉप्ट कर सकते हैं, अपने जीवन में ला सकते हैं, क्योंकि ऋषि काल तो है ही नहीं कि उस जमाने की कॉन्सेप्ट हम ये कर सके। तो इसके ऊपर जो उन्होंने प्रकाश डाला है, ऐसे ही भाषणों की, व्याख्यानों की आज आवश्यकता है, क्योंकि हमारी न्यू जनरेशन जो है वो आज के संदर्भ में हर चीज को देखना चाहती है। तो सवरलीना जी, आपका ये प्रयास बहुत अच्छा है, मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा आपका टॉपिक। और इसी तरह का, क्योंकि किताबों में जो लिखा है वो उस जमाने के, उस संदर्भ के साथ में होता है, तो समझने में या आज के परिवेश में जब हम टैली करने जाते हैं उसको, तो कहीं डिफरेंस पाते हैं, उसको समानांतर कुछ हमें दिखता नहीं। तो ये जो प्रयास है, ये जो पद्धति है, ये जो टेक्निक है, ये बहुत ज्यादा थियोसॉफी को पॉपुलर करने के लिए महत्वपूर्ण रहेगा। और सवरलीना जी से मैं प्रार्थना करूंगा कि इसी तरह के जो हमारे थियोसॉफी के सीक्रेट्स है आज के संदर्भ में देते रहे। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद और बहुत अभिनंदन आपका। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
ठीक है सर, आई विल ट्राई टू पुट सम एफर्ट इन दैट डायरेक्शन।
सुवरीलीना जी, थैंक यू सो मच। बहुत सुंदर आपकी प्रस्तुति थी और प्रैक्टिकल थियोसॉफी की। सुषमा बोल रहे हैं, सुषमा श्रीवास्तव।
Yes, yes.
मैं बस जैसे आपकी टॉक सुनते सुनते मुझे बात याद आई कि जब खादान से कोयला निकलता है और कीड़ा निकलता है तो उसकी एक शक्ल एक ही होती है, लेकिन जब हीरे को बार बार चोट दी जाती है तो उसका स्वरूप निखर के आता है। यानी जितनी चोटें हम पे पड़ेंगी, जितने टेस्ट हम पे होंगे, उतने ही हम निखर के आएंगे। इसी तरह एक चट्टान है, उस पे जितनी चोटें मारेंगे तभी वो एक सुंदर स्कल्पचर बन सकता है। एक बात मुझे याद आई कि राज तकलीफ से वाकिफ है संगे तराश, कि कितनी मुश्किल है पत्थर से सनम होने तक। एक ये स्कल्पचर ही जान सकता है कि एक मूर्ति बनाने के लिए, एक स्कल्पचर बनाने के लिए उसको कितनी चोटें देनी पड़ती है, तब जाके वो खूबसूरत मूर्ति बनती है। और वह जब खूबसूरत मूर्ति बनती है तो लोग उसको अप्रिशिएट करते हैं। तीसरी बात कि हम आपने कहा ना कि सन्यासी छोड़ के चले जाते हैं, मंदिर जाते हैं, हिमालय चले जाते हैं, तो वास्तव में इस जिंदगी में ही हमारे निजात के रास्ते हैं, मुक्ति के रास्ते इसी में है। हम छोड़ के कहीं चले जाएंगे तो हमको वो मुक्ति नहीं मिलेगी। कि कैदे बंदे जिंदगी में राज है निजात के, इस जिंदगी की कैद में ही मुक्ति के रास्ते हैं। यदि गांधी जी को जब अफ्रीका में प्लेटफॉर्म पे धक्का दे दिया गया था तो उन्होंने रिएक्ट नहीं करा, उन्होंने रिस्पॉन्ड किया और उनका रिस्पॉन्स था, और इससे वह एक गांधी से महात्मा गांधी बन गए। तो ये छोटी छोटी चीजों से हमें सीख लेनी चाहिए। और आपकी जो आज की प्रस्तुति थी वो वास्तव में वो जो अपने रियल सेल्फ को जानने के लिए, वहां तक पहुंचने के लिए एक बहुत सुंदर जो है वो लेसन था। मैं बहुत बहुत आभार व्यक्त करती हूँ। धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू सुषमा जी। सुषमा जी हमेशा बहुत अच्छी अच्छी बातें लेके आती हैं, हिंदी में, शुद्ध हिंदी में, और बढ़िया बोलती हैं।
Thank you. So, shall we? Would you like to add something else, Suvralina? Because your thoughts must have been added even after writing.
Yeah. When you said no, like, it also clicked me when you said, when you don't trust people, it's not about just not trusting. Holding on to that love and peace in your heart, even if you're not trusting, is a test. Everybody goes through that. You know, when you're cheated for the first time, you might feel some ripples, right? But then second time, you would see that you would probably, start growing up with that maturity that no, the other person has some problem. And at a point, you would realize that even if the same person is cheating you more and more again, you would be so forgiving and you would be neutral, because you are now absorbed in your mind that, okay, he has a genuine problem of this. Somebody is cheating, that cheating has got into his heart and mind. By my hitting, it's not going to change. What is that will make the person change? Personally, there are 2-3 people who have met in my personal professional life. They would cheat you some way or the other. Initially, you will feel bad. Initially, you'll see, it's not about feeling bad. It's about you're not able to sort this out. And there is always big question mark in the relationship you're going to have with the person. But you cannot, as we all discussed, we cannot live. We have to be there and solve it, right? Then gradually the compassion, the forgiveness will grow within. And even if the person is doing it, you would look at the situation the other way around. Okay, he has now picked up this habit. It will take some time for this person to change. So this is the way out, I think, because I've gone through this phase. So I could relate to when you said this. So instead of hating that person, you will start figuring out how you want to help the person to change that habit, or maybe change his situation. So it takes time. We all are human beings. We will err and we will hate, we will re-hate, but then you will realize by hating, nothing is getting solved. So it's good. It's good that, why are we changing this perception, this hatred towards compassion? Again, through tests only. If somebody would not have ditched you, you would not have developed this habit. So it is like, if there is darkness, it's good that there is darkness, you would understand the importance of light. So everything is equally important. It is so well designed that problems are there because then only we will solve it. Tests are there because we will anyhow pass the test and we'll move up. With time, we all will realize this. And as we discussed in the talk, it is destined that we will be superhuman. We might delay it by our own karma, but we are destined to be superhuman because it's the evolution process. It's the arts, it is the science, it is the philosophy. From whichever angle you look at it, you will be a superhuman. Today, tomorrow, the time might be quicker or later, depending on your today's karmas or past karmas, not being worked out easily, but it is destined. We are to be evolved. That's why we're here.
We have to push ourselves.
Yes.
If we don't, work out the path to love, coming away from hatred and anger, how to make ourselves, because you can meditate for a while, you can close your mind for a while, when again the hatred will start with a new thought. So how to permanently make, is it possible? It's very, I don't think permanently is possible, but one thing I realized, which I use a lot, is choiceless awareness. So whenever I have something which I don't want in my mind, I say, okay, it's coming, let it be there. I'm not fighting it. Let me just be aware of it. Then it goes away. It has less hold on me. Then it comes lesser and lesser. It still shows up its head, but it'll come less and lesser. So then what happens is the grip of that thought on my body or my mind is less. So choiceless awareness works to change habit patterns of thought.
Right. But at the end, we are the masters. We are not the slaves, right? We are the masters of our actions. We should have that control in our hand.
No, see, the four states of awareness. So the fourth one, Sushupti, is what we are. The other three are not what we are. We are not the Jagrat, the Nidra, and the third one. So if we are that, and we have to be aware all the time that we are that, we are not this physical body, it's very, very hard. Because that is no form, that is no thing, nothing is there. What is there? Nothing, that has no definition. But we are that. So when you don't have anything to hold on to, the mind is full of all this negativity. No, those people who are in the bhakti movement are much easier life, because they have to just say, my God will protect me, God will teach him, God will take care of him, God will give him whatever he needs, God will protect me. I mean, whatever, Rama, Krishna, whatever. But we as theosophists don't say that. We never ever say that, because we don't want to attract the attention of even the masters, because most of us feel that we are too small and we should not disturb them. Sometimes we say, okay, give me positive energy. I say that, give me positive energy. Whenever some negativity, give me protect me with positive energy. So that's about it. But most of us will not use the name of the masters, because we know that who they are. So, but when you're in the bhakti movement, then you can, when you're in that type of devotional thinking, that you are devoted to one Ishta Devata, you have that solid, he will protect me. That helps you with this negativity.
But then gradually you will reach a stage when you don't need anything else, anything outside you to force you. You would realize that it's within. It takes time, but that is why I said we are our own masters. Like the way we are our ancestors, we are our own masters. The future is in our hand. That will give us that empowerment. I think the discussion is
going too long.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's good.
Let's stop, and I request Sister Mitalini to end with our closing prayer.
Namaste. Asato ma satkamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityurma amrutangamaya. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pasyantu, na kasya dukha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Thank you, and bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Suvralina. Beautiful sari also. I should have complimented you first only. Thank you. Bye.